Right, you guys, make sure you like this video and subscribe to Mike's, okay? Make sure if you don't subscribe to Mike, you're gonna have a fat forehead and a big hairline.
Boom, I'm with the guy Max inside. Subscribe to him, make sure you do still. Best content coming out. You know how it is.
Welcome back to another live, people. Welcome back to the YouTube channel. Welcome back to the GVO show. Make sure you smash it, like, and subscribe if you are new. And this is half GVO show, half Everton, West Ham, Man United. West Ham, Man United. What the fuck am I talking about? Everton, West Ham match reaction, bro. And yeah, 1-1 as usual. Before we get into that, Alfie, how you been, man? How you been?
Yeah, I'm doing good. Doing good. Back again with the GVO show, obviously. Doing a little double-barreled thing today. Obviously, we're going to be doing the match reaction to the West Ham Everton game. But, as usual, the GVO show on Monday. You guys know the score by now. Make sure you guys are liking and subscribing. And let's get into the show.
Bro. That, for me, like, it was better than usual, but it's like, there's so much we've got to clean up. Like, I just think, for me, what I was worried about before, I know, like, obviously the football is going to be a lot more defensive, which I don't mind. But it's more of the cases, are these centre-backs ready to really be defending for 90 minutes sort of thing? And I'm not saying we did that, but there's only so much that everyone else around you can do for you to be defending like that. Especially when you've got a lack of concentration in Mavropanos, who he was putting some good blocks in. But the problem is like, the problem is more like you're not putting your body on the line. No, you are putting your body on the line. But the goal, for example, that Keane makes a bending run, but usually as a defender, like, and this goes for every single footballer, no matter what they have to do in their position, in their different role, they're scanning, they're looking left and right. Mavropanos is constantly ball watching, so he's not seeing Keane run around and get the header. And there's too much space there. There's too much space. And that was the start of that. And he made some good blocks after that. So he didn't have a completely terrible game. But the problem is, you're going to be testing that every single kind of defensive responsibility possible. So that's what's going to be the real test of Mavropanos and his friend Kilman. Because Kilman, physically, weak. Weak to say the least. He can ping a ball. Don't get me wrong, he can ping a ball. He's good with both feet. He's good at the ball. But it's not going to work. It's not going to work. I think we need way better centre-backs than this. Maybe Igor needs to come in. If Tadebo's still part of the plans, we'll see. Maybe we need to completely change that partnership. I don't know, maybe Igor deserves a chance. I don't think he'll go with that. But, for example, against G-Man, we got U-Man next. And I'm looking at him thinking, I don't think we got a chance. But Kilman and Mavropanos against Gyökeres, as much as he ain't started well, in one cross, even a Marino, it doesn't matter what the player quality is. It matters the space they get into, for example. So Marino isn't the greatest player in the world, but he will get into the space to be in that position to header the ball, which is the problem. Michael Keane isn't a good player. He scored against us. So it doesn't take you to be a good player to score.
Like they highlighted the set piece issues as well. I think it was saying something along the lines of, like, what, first 6 games in, you guys have conceded like 40 plus corners and conceded 8 goals from them. And coming up against the team in Arsenal that usually tend to get a lot of their goals from set piece situations, it's understandable why West Ham are feeling, okay, maybe we're going to be in a bit of trouble here. But at the same time, like you, I know my club. And I know that the club will make it as difficult as possible. And chances are we could end up losing on Saturday. But at the same time, you know, I think with West Ham obviously getting used to their new manager, it's only his first game. He's barely got his feet under the desk. He's going to have more time, you know, to sit down with the squad, go through training regimes and stuff like that. I know it sounds like I'm just trying to be positive for your club for the sake of it. But at the same time, these are the things that happen. Like, when you hire a manager so close to their next game, and we saw it with Nottingham Forest when they played us. They'd recently sacked Nuno, hired Ange, and they were all over the place against us at the Emirates. And you could kind of see the same sort of thing tonight against Everton. West Ham, under a new manager, don't understand his style of play yet, and they're going to be all over the place. And to be fair, they were. And from what I saw of the game, because I only managed to catch the second half, again, it's the reliance upon Bowen to get you guys out of trouble. And it's consistently happening every single time. Fair enough. Brilliant finish from Bowen. Like, you expect that from Jared Bowen. He's brilliant at what he does. One of the best wingers in the league, in my opinion. But at the same time, if West Ham are going to have any chance of staying up this season, they can't rely on Bowen every single game to get them out of trouble.
Yeah, and that's what we've been saying for time. And big up to the chat. Step forward, except for the set piece and forward issue, missing a box-to-box player still. And yeah, going on the set piece thing, it's funny because we defended the set piece fine, and then for some reason, what we're doing even worse now is like every time it goes back out to the player, we're not closing them down. And there was a time in the second half I was getting mad at Fulkirk, yeah, because Inimed Ndiaye is on the right wing, and he's just got the ball, and Fulkirk, instead of running up to him, he just stands like this, like a mushroom, like this, and he's just there. And I thought he was on magic mushrooms.
It's like even for the goal, even for the Keane goal, ball comes out. You expect your team, as soon as the ball has gone out of the box, you expect your team to rush the opposition, put them under pressure, don't let the ball back in the box. And you guys didn't do that, and therefore we're made to pay the price.
Yes, facts. Honestly, don't rate Mavropanos as a mistake in him. Same. Which is why I wasn't guessing his performance against Forest. Big up Mike's and Alfie, one in the chat. Decent result, either side could have won it. Yeah, I think more so at the end, we looked like the better team. But in the first half, especially after they scored, they looked like the better team. And then the first 10 in the second half. It went in waves, and I think 1-1 it sums up the game well. But that doesn't mean I have to be happy with it. But at the same time, it's less so what the managers do. Because I didn't really have many problems with what the manager did in his first game. I have to be honest. I didn't have many problems. I enjoyed the lineup. Ward-Prowse got deported, so we can all celebrate there. He wasn't in the squad. He got deported. So let's celebrate deportation of Ward-Prowse.
Is he out of the plans then? Is that what that means?
Yeah. Because he didn't play him. He didn't play him when we loaned him to Forest last season, Alfie. He didn't play him. So Nuno knows what Ward-Prowse is already. So no Ward-Prowse against Arsenal. That's what I like. I don't think he's going to line up with the same midfield though, unfortunately, which is what I want him to do. Paquetá, Fernandes, Magassa, or Freddie Potts, who played well today. I agree, Kilman, isn't it? Big up Rashid, bro. Big up Charlie. Big up AJ. Big up Alfie. I'll come to you live on Sunday. Hope you're good.
Yeah, all good, man. I said in my my match preview for the game against Olympiacos, my Wi-Fi cut out.
Oh, is it? Yeah.
So I spent like pretty much the whole of Sunday on the phone trying to get it sorted out.
Oh,
and they only managed to turn it back on at like 9-10 o'clock this morning. So I was like, without Wi-Fi, couldn't stream, couldn't even get out a match reaction. Absolute nightmare.
Yeah, you know, it is just worse than like your Wi-Fi going out. It's just like a whole electric. I remember there was one time, yeah, when we did the show, me, you, and Melanie on Friday once. And I was like, there was one time I had to text you, man, and be like, I can't do a stream. Because, bro, my whole electricity went out. And I'm like, bro, I'm just sitting here, yeah. All you can do when the electric's gone out, yeah, is put like YouTube on your phone, stand it up somewhere, or use mobile data and order a takeaway. And then you got to take it up into your room or into a room in a thing with no lights and just your phone lights. And it's just like, bro, I can't even see my takeaway. I can't even see it, bro. Alfie, my guy, your hair looks like a mushroom. No, Charlie, that's because he's on mushrooms.
You're on Ket, AJ Sharp.
Jared Bowe, West Ham saviour, as always. Does he look like he eats mushrooms? Look at his size. Fuck's sake. Why does Alfie look like he finally saved up enough to get a bigger hype? Fuck's sake. No, his barber has been on holiday since last year. To be fair, your mum's your barber, no?
Yeah, to be fair.
But to be fair, technically. Yeah, you mean internet. Like, just like, bro, it's the longest time, especially when you're doing content now. That's when it gets long. But, bro, I think in the game, I don't see why people get onto Magassa so much. I'll be real. This is the first start. He didn't do anything terrible. So people just get onto him for no reason, especially the double XL Ed Sheeran himself, West Ham Central. The fat ginger bastard with the droopy titties. Finally, they decided to find another target because everyone else is the target unless you're Thomas Suchek. Because if you're Thomas Suchek, you're allowed to get red cards because he smiles, he looks like a spastic, and he's a nice guy. Whereas Magassa, he's just from Monaco, new guy. Let's throw the new guy under the bus once again, like we always do in this fan base, and be like, he played that shit when he makes one mistake. Magassa's a good player. He'll do well if he gets a chance. Freddie Potts came on, played better than him. So there's some good competition there.
What did you make of Somerville's performance?
I loved it. The reason why I loved it is because that left-hand side, I've been begging for a left-hand side like that. I've been begging for Somerville to run up players, test the fullback. That's exactly what he did. And he can build a good relationship with Paquetá. And Somerville running him behind gives us like almost the least to not just rely on Bowen all the time. Bowen's still going to rely in terms of goals, but I like Somerville. I just think end product obviously needs working on, and he loves to shoot from the weirdest angles possible. But the way he tries to actually take people on is all we want. You want to actually drag the team up the pitch. It gives you something to think about. So I'm more than happy with Somerville, and with Diff just in behind as well. Yeah, man. I'm liking Diff, man. Diff was my man.
Diff had a good game. Like the running in behind, the overlapping run alongside Somerville. Had a brilliant game down that left-hand side.
Yeah, I think Diff, he's been a great... Like, it's weird, because we have great signings sometimes, even when the team is shit. It's like last year, Wan-Bissaka. Wan-Bissaka had a great debut season, even though we were fucking awful. And it's like that with Diff. Diff has already got like 3 or 4 assists, and we have barely scored any goals. And also, Diff put the cross in again for the goal. Like, to even get to Fulkirk in the first place. He was putting a couple in for Fulkirk. If we had a striker, Diff would have way more assists. And I really like the fact that he's just running down the line and crossing. All he did, running down the line, crossing, and then clamping people. I like it. It's a balanced fullback thing. I like the fact as well, we're properly clamping people, we're properly tackling. That's what happens when you have ball winners and not Ward-Prowse in midfield. Because I saw Jack Grealish come on, yeah. He was having a good game. But Freddie Potts came on, 2 tackles straight away. He's like, come on, take me on, got the ball, bang. Well, I love that shit. I love it. I love when people are not stupid. I love it. I love it when people like are being footballers and are not being stupid. They're not being minus 70 IQ players. Ward-Prowse, Edson Alvarez, these kind of men. Ward-Prowse, stay at home. I'm glad you watched at home. Stay at home, get your popcorn, do some Tesco delivery shopping, do your thing, man. Like make your bed, fold up, get a new table, get a gaming chair, start a Twitch, do something, man. Stay at home, man.
Yeah, FC26 is out. Ward-Prowse, FC26 is out. Just play that. Do a West Ham career mode.
Yeah, do West Ham career mode, little Barfy boy.
Yeah.
Do that shit, man. Do that shit. You don't need to, be at the club anymore. You don't need to play anymore because Nuno don't want you. You don't need to play. You don't need to play. There's no need. There's no need. So, Ward-Prowse. We've got Freddie Potts. We've got Magassa. We've got Paquetá. We've got Fernandez. And if needed, Andy Irving can come on. You don't need to be here. You don't need to be here, my guy. You don't need to be here. Stay at home. Have a chill time. Maybe a little early retirement. I know you like your golf. PGA is on the UK-US shit. Go watch that, man.
You mean the Ryder Cup?
Whatever the fuck it's called.
That's just finished, bro.
Oh, so it's just finished. Unlucky Ward-Prowse. Go watch that Emmerdale or some shit. I don't know, man. Go watch Emmerdale, man. Yes, West Ham Central is that. West Ham Central has tranny tits. Yes, he does. He looks like a spastic. It's crazy. He does, though. He does. Begging for a left-hand side is something a body blue fan would say, unless... Fuck's sake. Like, joy is with this left-hand side. It's like, the previous left-hand sides has been like very one-sided as it is. It's been mainly been left-backs. Or like, it's just been Aaron Cresswell. Or it's just been Emerson. And we played a midfielder there. I like the fact that we've got a left-back at left-back and a winger at winger. And that's the thing. Everton, because they won a couple games, have been severely overhyped. Severely overhyped. Just because they won a couple games. Let me go and look at Everton's results so far this season. And why am I going at Everton so much? Who's their manager, bro?
David Moyes.
Exactly. And you know what the media try to do? Well, You know what it is with these West Ham fans? They fucking shut David Moyes after they won the fucking European trophy. Are you fucking spazzy, bruv? Like, have some analysis. Have some analysis for once, and stop being like, oh, they won the first trophy in 40 years. Blah, 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 blah. Bro, why not talk about the 6-0 against Arsenal? Why not talk about the 5-0 against Chelsea? Why not talk about the 5-2 against Palace? Why not talk about the 5-0 against Fulham in that fucking same season straight after the Conference League? Let's have a look at their results. So basically, they haven't won in 4 games. They haven't won in 4 games, Everton. All competition, haven't won in 4. And guess what? They went, like, last win was toe-to-toe with Fulham. Fulham, not Fulham. Wolves. They went toe-to-toe with Wolves and just about beat them 3-2. They're not that good. To be fair, Moyes is better than the managers you hired after. Yeah, but that's not saying much about Moyes. That's saying much about the manager we hired after. They're shits. Like,
if anything, that says a lot about the ownership.
Yeah, exactly. Like, that doesn't mean shit. That doesn't mean we should have kept Moyes. That means we should have hired a better manager. But that's not saying much. Like, because that's what the media talk about. Oh, behind Lopetegui, he was shit. Yeah, so hire a better manager then? Like, common sense? Like, Moyes is not that good. Like, he's a good manager for mid-table. He's a good manager for trying to get more out of what he has, or might maybe being defensively astute. Definitely staying up. Definitely a good manager for staying up. But I told man about his team selections. He started Iliman and Diar on the right to try and shoehorn him, Dewsbury Hall, and Grealish in the team. And when it was time to bring on Tyler Dibbling, he still kept Garner Gay and James Garner on. Because guess what? He don't care about winning the game. He cares about seeing the game out. He doesn't care about going out to win the game. Which is why it was like I'm not blaming Nuno, yeah, but I didn't like the appointment. So this is why I'm saying this. It's like Jihadi John versus Osama. It's just Haram versus Haram. And guess who won today? No one. like when you verse Haram versus Haram, no one wins.
They cancelled each other out.
Yeah, it's like, imagine the derby of ISIS versus Al Qaeda. Bro, that would be a derby of the century. But that's basically what we watched anyway. That is basically what we watched anyway, bro. It was ISIS versus Al Qaeda. Moyes versus Nuno. Can't argue with it. You can't argue with it because, bro.
So which one are you then? Which one are West Ham then?
Who's more on the brink of being extinct out of ISIS and Al Qaeda?
I mean, to be fair, we don't really hear much of Al Qaeda nowadays. It's more ISIS.
What? So Al Qaeda are not around no more, and who do you think that's because of? Is it more of a that situation, like Terminator?
The only reason I ask is because I was like, which one are you? Because you'll be coming up against the Taliban on Saturday. Another footballing terrorist.
That is true, to be fair. And I'll say we're Al Qaeda. If we're not around no more, it's Al Qaeda. Would you hide Arteta after Moyes? I think Arteta's better for a club like us because there's not as much pressure. I don't think he can handle pressure. I don't necessarily want him, but I'm not gonna.
I'll send the P45 to Colney right now. I'll be like, Arteta, go.
I'm not going to complain as much. I think he'd do better for a club like us, just because he's not an elite level, but he's a Premier League coach. It's not like he's like Chesterfield level. He's just like, he's not title winning level.
He's mid-table Premier League at best.
Yeah, he can probably get Europe, but that's his level. Because if you can get Arsenal in a title challenging, but you can't win, cool. You can get West Ham into Europe. But if Arteta was to throw the cups like he did at Arsenal, I would have want his head chopped off.
To be fair, I think at a club like West Ham, where you kind of know that the only really main place that you're going to win something is through the cups, I think in that situation, Arteta would probably take the cup seriously.
That's true. That's true. But the problem is with this ownership is because there's no prize money in the cups. They don't care. So it's just care about staying in the league. And that's where they get the money from. And then there's no pressure after not winning in the Carabao Cup and the FA Cup. There's no pressure. That's the problem. Because people focus on money a lot. And I get it from an owner point of view. I get it. But from a fan point of view, fuck that. I want to win. Big up to Taz. Everton versus West Ham, Alfie versus Elijah at foot. Man. Man. I don't know. I haven't seen either of them play football for you. I've seen Alfie play football time ago. But it was a long
Power
time
League.
ago. Yeah, it was the college football thing.
I backed 4 that day.
Yeah, I backed that day. It's mad. But I was also I didn't go out to fight with someone, but that's a story for another day. You might talk about ISIS, Al Qaeda, and the Taliban. I can't mention it without being on prevent. Fair enough.
Fair.
AJ is gonna get rushed by his family again. Telling you once, telling you twice this. That's why I'm gonna be singing fucking Saturday, bro. But once we get like fucking Arsenal win 1-0 after like Gabriel scores or some shit. But this is the thing with this game, yeah. I think the thing that's gonna piss me off probably about this manager, and it doesn't help with the lack of options, but there's gonna be like max 3 subs made per game. Even though you've got an option of 5, most of these managers take up the option of just using 3. And that's a big problem. I think for me, like, Callum Wilson should have come on for Fulcrum just to give a bit more energy. Because Callum Wilson's a 20-minute player now. I don't want Fulcrum to be playing 9 minutes every single game. Or, like, be playing every single time. Because Fulcrum had a bad first half, had a better second half. But he's more of a Nuno-type player of recent because he's more of the mold of Chris Wood than Callum Wilson is. But Chris Wood is actually faster. Chris Wood is a better movement in the box. Actually, when he drops deep as well, he's quicker getting back into the box as well. That's the thing I would say. I need Nuno to keep this midfield against Arsenal, though. If I see any change of like, I don't know if Souček is there, was on the bench today, but I don't want to see like benching Fernandes or Paquetá for Souček, for example. I want to see the same midfield. I'm looking at the bench now. Let me look at the lineups real quick. Where's Souček on the bench? Oh, no, wait, no. Souček's suspended.
Yeah.
Is it 3 games?
Might be.
I didn't know it was 3 games. I didn't know that Tottenham one was 3 games. Oh, it's violent conduct. Yes, of course. Yeah, I forgot. So when Souček comes back, I'm not trying to see him straight back into the squad. Wouldn't be surprised if AJ is on the MI5 list the amount of times he mentions the terror groups. Are there even 5 good players to bring on for you? Let me have a look at the bench, to be fair. If we're talking about switching it up and we're talking about like lack of energy, let me look at the bench real quick. So on the bench, there was Igor, Callum Wilson, Guilherme, Rodriguez, Scholes. To be fair, there wasn't today. I would have brought on Callum Marshall. I think, to be fair, Marshall, Irving, Potts, Guilherme, Wilson. That's just about 5. If you need to change the defender, you can bring on Scholes. Like, it's not the best bench in the world. But at the same time, it's not terrible. Like, those players have use. They're just not fashionable names. And a lot of them are youth players. So to be fair, it's not the worst bench in the world. That's what I will say. I think for me, with this manager, it's a case of, cool, we're just trying to survive right now. We're just trying to survive. And I get that. But beyond that, I don't see him taking us anywhere above that. But that's fine. That's his level. This is his level. That's fine. But I get it. But let's move on from West Ham. Newcastle Arsenal. Alfie. That was a weird game. I personally think Newcastle went on for the 1-0 too much. I think you-man finally did what you should have done and gone for the win after getting an equaliser. But I also don't think Arteta intended to necessarily just go for the game all out. I think it was more of a case of, and I'm just saying my perspective quickly, just because Lewis Skelly came on as soon as you equalised. So he went back to back forward. A bit like how when you equalised against Man City, Mascara came on. So as soon as you scored, it's a draw, the defender comes back on. But it's like, if we get a set piece, cool, that's how we score, is where it is. But we're not really looking to go all out for that. That's what my perspective was. But you got the win regardless. And it's rare that you won at Upton Park, for me. St. James's Park. It's rare that you win at St. James's Park. So, from your perspective, what did you make of it?
I mean, it's all well and good that we managed to end our Tyneside hoodoo. Obviously, winning our first game there since 2023. Obviously, that's all well and good. Like, don't get me wrong, happy with the 3 points, especially after you've seen like the craziness of this weekend. Obviously, Liverpool losing to Palace, Chelsea dropping points as well. You know, it's good to like finally see us when we're like our title rivals that are surrounding us are dropping points. It's nice for us to go and take advantage and go and get a win ourselves. Not that I necessarily think we're going to go on and win the league, because I really don't. I've got no faith in this manager whatsoever. I still think he's a fraud. And again, he frauded his way out of a potential loss. And one of the things I noticed as well, again, VAR being the talking point, 5 minutes to make a penalty decision. I mean, this is what I was told. Like 5 minutes to make a penalty decision. From what I saw, it wasn't a penalty. Yes, Pope does make contact with Gyökeres, and Gyökeres goes down. But in the way that Gyökeres does go down, he goes down with a bit too dramatic, almost as if he's playing into the contact, rather than like intentionally being clipped, dropping to the floor, that sort of thing. But the fact it took 5+ minutes to make that decision, we were told back when VAR was added to the Premier League, it was meant to make the game better. If anything, it's made it worse. They never get decisions right. When they do, there's always controversy. When they get them wrong, there's always controversy. Like they have all the angles, but nevertheless, put that aside. I was told we went quite attacking, and then as soon as Newcastle got the goal, we kind of switched it up. Substitutions coming to the rescue again. Marino off the bench, getting a goal. Gabby again, like this guy, honestly, one of the best centre backs in my opinion that I've ever seen play for Arsenal.
Ever,
obviously, like not like in the sense of like, oh, he's up there with Sol Campbell and things like that.
Oh yeah, in terms of who you watched, yeah.
But in terms of who I've watched, like Gabriel Magalhaes is much better than Gabriel Paulista.
Yeah, of course.
Saliba's better than Mustafi. Like, let's be real.
Mosquera's
better than like Koscielny or Rob Holding or whatever dross like you want to throw at me from the latter days of Wenger. But again, it's like scamming victories. And I know a lot of people out there will say, oh, but if you're getting wins when you're not playing at your best, like, why are you complaining for? You're still winning. But I've seen before, like Mourinho's quoted this himself. He said that a good result with a poor performance is just a good moment. It's just a happy moment. There's no plan for the future. But if there's a good performance with a good result, then there is a plan for the future. You know exactly what to expect going forward. With this result, I don't know what to expect. I don't know what sort of Arsenal team's going to show up on the day. Like, fair enough, we may put Olympiacos to the sword on Wednesday. But as for what happens after that, the game against West Ham, I don't know. Because I just don't see what the plan is going forward. Like, it confuses me.
Yeah. I think... Do you know what it is for me? Well, first of all, before I say anything, Johnson, thoughts on Odegaard cameo? Because you didn't get to watch the game because of your Wi-Fi in it or your internet.
Yeah.
So, from what you heard, what did you think?
I mean, he got the assist for the corner that Gabriel scored from. But I know all like the Arteta sexuals will be lapping that one up. Oh, you guys said Odegaard was shit. Now look, he's got an assist. He will still be as boring as he is any other game.
Yeah.
Hair flicks, snot on the sleeve, not being progressive with the ball, playing it sideways, playing it backwards, making it look as if he's doing something, but he'll take the ball from the right-hand side, run it into the middle, pass it off, and then he's just floating about again. Like, it's not that much to look forward to in terms of Odegaard's performances. I think Eze's much better in the 10 than Odegaard is.
Eze was amazing. Eze was amazing on Sunday. He was your best player in my opinion. Like for me, well, it's common sense. Play the player in the right position, they'll do well. But also when you play a good player in the right position, fucking hell. He was the one that I thought was going to score in that first half. He had two chances that really tested Pope. I think Arsenal played really well in the first half up until the goal. If I'm being so honest, they played really well. I think it was probably your best performance that I've seen because I've watched every single Arsenal game. But best performance that I've seen from the season. Whether I don't like the whole we deserve to win thing, we didn't deserve to win thing. If you win, you win. I don't give a fuck because, like, for example, you can have more chances and test the keeper. You don't score, you don't score. Like, it don't make a fucking difference. Like, I'll be real, it don't make a difference. Like, because then people just discredit the keeper, or people discredit, like, let's say you had the ball, but the defensiveness of the other team wasn't given credit or whatever.
Yeah.
So, but what I will say is that it wasn't against the run of play when you guys scored 2 goals. Yeah, when you guys scored 2 goals. But John asked another question. Would that same apply to Liverpool then? Talking about, like, you know, the good performance, bad performance analogy that Jose Mourinho used, as Liverpool haven't played that well this season.
That is actually a really good question, and in my opinion, I think if you've got the right manager, it doesn't necessarily matter. Because at the same time, yes, Liverpool haven't exactly played the best, but they've got a manager that knows how to set up a team, knows how to play when the game's going against him. Obviously, the Crystal Palace result aside, you know, usually if they know, like, if Liverpool know the game's going against them, they'll switch things up. They'll bring on someone else. They'll look for a spark. Whereas with Arsenal, you don't know where that spark is coming from.
Yeah, that's
like they like the team are just short circuiting. But with Liverpool, I think they're a much better team than what we are. And yes, they haven't been, like, cutthroat in the way that they've played this season. They've not gone out and smashed teams 5 or 6-0. No, but they're getting the results. Obviously, Saturday was a blip.
Yeah, I agree. I think I'll go on to Liverpool later, but I think comparing Arsenal to Liverpool is interesting because Arsenal should be better than Liverpool now. In my opinion, Arsenal should have been better than Liverpool last season. Arsenal has spent a lot of money.
Phase 6 Arteta should be better than Phase 2 Arne Slot.
Yeah. But also, Arsenal in general, no matter what, should be better than Liverpool right now. I think for me, you spent too much money. You got enough good players to build around to have any excuse. Because Salah ain't Salah this season. He's capable of scoring anytime. But Salah ain't Salah this season. Wirtz ain't been that good. Isak is going to settle in. Isak was nowhere to be seen against Palace. Van Dijk is still good. Van Dijk is still Van Dijk. Alisson's still Alisson. They ain't got Trent anymore. But they spent a lot of money. And they've got, but none of those signings have started well. To be honest, I think those signings will still come good. But none of those signings have started well. So with Arsenal, you've had a chance to sign a striker. You finally got one. I don't think he's. Again, I didn't think it was good on the game of the weekend. But I'm actually not judging the signings that I've signed from other leagues so far, to be honest with you, so quickly. But I'm actually criticizing the signing more. I always talk about this when it comes to strikers, how they fit the side. Gyökeres don't fit Arsenal for me. I don't think any striker that Arsenal were interested in. Well, Sesko profile-wise, maybe a little bit, but I don't rate Sesko as a player. I know Damien does. Big up Damien, but I don't rate Sesko like that. So I think for me, time ago, you should have got Ivan Toney. You should have got Isak at Sociedad. Yeah, those are the two that I'm looking at. Because even Watkins makes the same runs as Gyökeres. Watkins wouldn't have been a good signing. I don't rate Watkins. I don't rate Watkins in general. So for my whole thing is that Gyökeres, I don't know whether he's Arsenal level or not, but profile-wise, it's a complete mismatch. But anyone that watched Gyökeres know he loves the left channel. He loves the left inside channel all the time. And he wants to run it behind in those positions. And to be fair, you are trying. And to be fair to Arsenal, they have been trying to find him. You have been trying. When I watch you guys, from my perspective, you have been trying to find Gyökeres. But to be fair, you might not used to that.
Mm.
Saka isn't used to just finding the striker in behind. Martinelli, Trossard, they're not. Only Eze. Only Eze is used to that, finding the person in behind all the time. So it's going to take time in terms of that sense. But that's something the manager needs to get right. You've been backed. And it's not like Banza said, I don't think Gyökeres is a bad player. But I don't know whether he's the level raiser that you're looking for. But he needs to, for example, someone made a good point actually. Whatever striker you signed this window needs to get more than whatever Havertz had in his highest season for Arsenal.
Mm.
Because it makes no difference otherwise. If he gets the same as Havertz, what difference does it make? Because Havertz did it. Because if Marino can score up front, you got no excuse. So, Arsenal, for me, and I'm actually going to ask you this year, from my perspective, I think, especially in the title-winning side, and I think in general, but mainly title-winning sides or teams that are going for the title, you want to see the performances really around the start of the season to mainly Christmas, January, February. And then in the back end of that, you want to see, even if you're not going to perform good, the quality still has to show and you do it in moments. But it feels like you, man, have been doing it in moments at the start of the last 3 or 4 seasons, not 3 or 4, but every title challenging season since since the first one. So like your first title challenging season, you man were performing like mad. Nobody even thought to put you guys up there for the title until you started moving mad. But ever since after that season, where you've gone back to this, not back, but you've gone to this football where it's a bit clunky, or whatever you want to call it, it feels like you guys are trying to get results first every single time. But do you feel like now, as it's kind of alluding to what you were saying earlier, do you think it's important to play like the way you are now, or do you think it's unsustainable and you want to see performances now and you want to see the back end of the season when it's all about results now to then start just grinding it out sort of thing?
I think, in my opinion, I completely agree with what you said in the sense of you start seeing performances from the start of the season up until Christmas, February sort of times. And then towards the back end of the campaign, you're getting the results. Like, it doesn't matter what sort of football you play as long as you're getting the 3 points. In my opinion, it feels like Arsenal kind of done the reverse. But I think the only reason I think that is because they saw what happened during the 2023 title charge. And we saw that we performed at the start of the season quite well. In fact, really well. Top at Christmas. Looked like we were favourites. As everyone knows, we were on top of the table for 97% of the season. Or 93% or whatever it was. And then we bottled it. But it's almost as if they've looked at that and gone, okay, well, that's not worked. Maybe if we switch it round and start playing games where we're just getting results at the start of the season. And then towards like the back end of the campaign, February, March, those sort of games, we'll just start peppering teams. And we kind of saw that in the 23-24 campaign. Because everyone loves to like talk about the Dubai trip at the end, like during January in that season. And then once we come back from that trip, we just started like firing off shots. 6-0 against you, 5-0 against Burnley, 6-1 against Sheffield United, or 6-0. Like, that's what we were seeing. But in my opinion, switch it back. Switch it back. Go back to having the performances and the results intertwined at the start of the season. Get yourself into a position where you can compete. And then obviously when you feel like you're comfortable enough, because these guys, they've been in a title race now. Like, obviously they know what it takes to win a title. Like, they've seen other teams do it. They know what it takes. So the mentality, at that point, you have to rely on the players' mentality. So for me, performances and pretty football and results, start of the season, just looking for results at the end of the season. But nevertheless, it's not going to matter because we ain't winning fuck all.
Fair enough. Thoughts on Magassa, Max? I actually liked the Magassa performance today. I think people expected too much from someone who's just started his first game and how long. Hasn't had much match sharpness. I said this when he started, Damien. I'm expecting him to come off the bench first few games and then him just to settle in the league. I think he's the right profile for the team. I thought Potts came on and played better, but I think it'll be good competition. I think that's one of the places I actually like, and that's why I've been saying. That's why I was complaining about Graham Potter. To be honest with you, for one of those reasons. We should have done better. Some players never turned up. Falcon and Paquetá didn't show up. Prefer not to see Souček and Ward-Prowse starting. Like Potts today, but it's great to see. I don't want to see Souček and Ward-Prowse start again. Mainly Ward-Prowse. Souček can start some games, but as a regular starter, Souček cannot start when we've got this midfield. But he can start at times. But people, can we not act like this guy is some level raiser? He's like solid now, all of this, because you see that red card against Tottenham, nothing to do with the system. Nothing to do with it. That's to do with him not being able to control the ball and kicking the shit out of someone. Or putting their shins into someone's socks. Shins, studs, into someone's socks. That's because he can't control the fucking football. And I know we're playing Bruce ball now, but it's not like we don't have the ball. Against Arsenal, we're not going to have the fucking ball. But against Everton, we're still going to have some of the ball. You still need a Paquetá and Fernandes to distribute the ball forward. It's not going to be like the Moyes system in 2020 to 2021, where Rice is sweeping up everything and Souček is basically second striker at some points. And then Lingard drops to the edge of the box and Fornals drops to the edge. It's not going to work like that. I like Potts today. It was great to see as well. Yeah, I agree. I like Freddie Potts. I'm not saying he should never start, but Souček, but yeah, I agree. I was saying Arteta wanted Sesko, a big target man to aim for. We're looking to break down the low block. Needs to be Potts' role for me, first midfielder off the bench. Yeah, he can start some games if he wants, but I think it'll be a good way to integrate him first season. But if you got Isak from Sociedad, Alfie will tweet, why are we trying to rebuild Sociedad in London? I think, though, if he got Isak at the time, it would have been before Zubimendi and Marino. So I don't think it would have made a fucking difference.
To be fair, I actually said something similar, because obviously I saw, like, earlier this week, apparently we're trying to sign Kubo.
Yeah.
Like, does this club not know that there are other players that you can sign from other clubs?
But that's why he was referring to that, though.
Oh.
That's why he was saying that. Because if you got, I'm saying at the time, though, Isak going to Arsenal, that would have been before Marino and Zubimendi signed. So if Isak hits the ground running, I don't think anyone's going to be mentioning Sociedad. So it depends. Yeah, no more Junior Souček. They're too slow. We need pace in midfield. I agree. So Gyökeres needs 11 more goals in 32 games. Yeah. Minimum. He needs more than that. But how many has he scored in the league so far?
3. 2 against Leeds, 1 against Forest.
For me, he needs 19.
I think a lot of
17.
I think a lot of Gyökeres' problem, and don't get me wrong, I was elated when we signed him. I thought I definitely preferred signing Victor Gyökeres over Šeško. And to be fair, I've been made to seem right, because Sesko looks lost in that Manchester United team. But at the same time, I think a lot of the criticism that I will give Gyökeres is, it's all well and good me saying that you need to, play to the striker's strengths, play the ball to where he feels comfortable with it, not the ball in behind, over the top, however you want to do it. Be like Alfred Wett in FC25 Pro Clubs, over the top, yelling that constantly. But one of the main criticisms I have is when he does get the ball in behind, too many touches. He's taken 3, 4, 5 touches before he's letting the ball off. And you kind of saw it off the bench against Port Vale. It's almost as if he feels like he's playing in Portugal again. Because in Portugal, you have that opportunity to take 4 or 5 touches. Because the game's slower paced. The game's slowed down. It's not as physical as the Premier League. And Scott, you're right. He does need time to adjust. But at the same time, it just needs to be an instinct thing. You get the ball in behind, 1 touch, bang. Maybe an extra touch if you need it. 1, 2 touch, bang. Let the ball off.
Only problem is you can't teach instinct.
True.
Instinct is just instinct. It's like Defoe, 2 touch, bang. Best I've seen that in a Premier doing that in my lifetime. 2 touch, bang. Like Gyökeres needs that. It's like Watkins against Netherlands for England. He's not really a 2 touch man, but 2 touch, bang. 1 just shift 1, bang. Like you don't see that enough really. No, we will turn it around with Nuno. He knows what he's doing already. he also said we needed him. He's much better than Potter. I do think he's much better than Potter. I think we already see that from one game. But I think we need him to survive for sure. Anything beyond that, not too sure. I'm glad we've been kicked into this mentality now. If we can pick up points of Janet, then strengthen, we'll be okay. Glad we got Nuno in sooner rather than later. Definitely soon. It's almost a blessing, and it's not a blessing, but because we're dumb. But Potter coming in January means that we sacked him like 4 or 5 games in, because he actually hasn't been here. He's been here longer than 4 or 5 games. So if we had just had him in the summer, and 4 or 5 games in, Potter's failing, they wouldn't have sacked him. And like Lopetegui, for example, I knew 4 games in, this guy was a fucking idiot. But it took till January for me to get what I wanted, even though I was manager out this time last year. So it's good that we got a new manager in now. I need to see more to decide what Nuno's going to be, how good he's going to be, and whether we're actually going to survive. I think we will survive. I've said this before. I do think we will survive now with Nuno because he's a surviving manager. I don't really give a fuck though.
Yeah, I definitely think you guys managing to get Potter out now and Nuno in now benefits you a lot more than trying to get Potter out in, say, January, same sort of time that you got rid of Lopetegui. Because if you waited until January to get rid of Potter, who knows how many points you're going to be adrift of the bottom of the getting out of the bottom 3. That leaves the new manager that comes in a mountain to climb. Not much time to do it. Like, we're talking like 4 or 5 months to get you guys out of trouble. Who knows whether you can do it? Who knows whether a manager can instill his playing style in that amount of time? So I think, while obviously, as I mentioned earlier, you know, bringing him in so early to your next game, not giving him a lot of time to instill his tactics onto the side, it is important that you manage to get the deal done and the new manager in before things got even worse.
Facts. I wasn't devastated by Falk's performance. I think he gave what he could. Their centre backs are shit. Their centre backs are horrible. Tarkowski and Keane had a horrible game. I think Fulkirk had a bad first half. I think he had a good first 10. Had a bad rest of the first half. And in the second half, he was a nuisance. His movement was really good. But I think he needed to come off for Wilson at the back end of the game. Just for fresh legs. But it was like a 5. It was all right. I like Magassa Max. We'll get better and better. Could do with another one like him, a left-footed one. I understand it because we don't have any left-footed deeper midfielders. So I hear what you're saying. We don't have the quality to play good football. We've got to play shithouse football to maintain in this league. I'm not even looking for good football. I'm just looking for sustainable football no matter what the style of play is. That's what I've always asked for at West Ham. I just want sustainability. And then we can push on from the sustainability, but we're never going to get that. I literally grind up points to January, reinforce it in the window, then let Nuno reshape the team in the summer. I don't think the last 2 things are going to happen. I don't think we're going to reinforce as much as we should, because we're West Ham, we don't buy in January. I know we're going to be in a dogfight. They don't give a fuck. And let Nuno reshape the team in the summer. I don't know whether he's going to get all of that. But ideally, cool. I was happy for Arsenal. I can't lie. Like I said, I will never, ever be happy for Arsenal about anything. They can fuck themselves. Sorry, Alfie. Gokares definitely reminds me of Watkins. He's like Watkins with, like, bulimia. Second part was stupid. Honestly, West Ham cannot run properly at all. Second part was not stupid. Bro, you saw us the way we defended set pieces. He needed to go. He needed to go. This guy was playing Ward-Prowse every single game, Villa fan. None of the players liked him. He was literally passing around the ball for no reason. We weren't threatening any team on goal. As much as I'm not a big fan of Nuno Espirito Santo either, that doesn't mean second part was stupid. We would have lost this game under Potter.
It's almost as if the Potter memes were trying to predict what Potter's next job would be.
Yeah. The reason why that's funny to me, is because I'm picturing him on like Osama bin Laden and OnlyFans girls, bro. So I don't know whether that's going to be his next job, bro. They'll put him on videos with girls juggling their tits about. So it's like, Potter meme, bro. That was the last question he was asked as a manager for West Ham about the memes. And he was like, my 15-year-old son enjoyed that. Nobody cares about your son, bro.
Yeah, how are you going to pay for your son's dinners now? Jobless
Scare that
youth.
kid. Scare that kid. This wasn't the reason why we sacked him. The only reason why we sacked him is because we agreed to deal with Nuno. So we can just switch the managers like this. Because that's what we do. We don't
Quick
hire
sub.
interims. Yeah, that's what we do. That's not. It wasn't because of the fucking memes. We didn't actually. I think don't get me wrong. I think the media pressure, online pressure, of the memes happening, helped because of online pressure. But we didn't fucking sack a manager because of a meme, bro. We didn't do that. We didn't do that. So let me go back to the comments. Nuno won't last long, mate. I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't. I'm not a big fan, but okay, I kind of just got to let him do what he wants at this point. Current stories coming out left, right, and centre. Playing other players liked him. Yeah, he fell out with Tadibo. Who else did he fall out with? I don't remember. Damien, can you remind me? I don't know whether you saw the athletic thing as well. Did you see that as well, Damien, in the comments? Did you see what other players he fell out with? I forgot what other ones it was.
Wait, didn't Tadibo fall out with Lopetegui as well?
Yeah, he wanted to lamp him, though. He wanted to punch him in the face. And I was against Arsenal. Half time, he wanted to lamp him. And whoever, like, Bowen probably tried to break up the fight. Bowen, bro, just let Tadibo punch him. Yeah, everything's good. I agree Nuno will walk after the season after he doesn't get back to come out against the owners. Hey, I don't mind that. If it doesn't work, call Sullivan what I've been calling Sullivan. I'm on that. I'm on that. And Nuno will be a legendary human in my eyes if he doesn't get back, he calls out Sullivan. That'll be sick. Without Bowen and you're a goner. I've been saying that for like 2 years. Yes, even the mentality of the fan base will change. The West Ham way, bollocks will die out. To be fair, it doesn't really exist in real life anymore. But we need to keep protesting, keep boycotting, no matter what happens. I don't give a fuck.
When's the next one?
Next one is against Burnley. The boycott is going to be against Brentford. The first, that'll be on the 20th or 18th, whenever we play next. I don't know whether we're Monday night football or Saturday night, but we're live. So we're going to boycott that game. I'll probably do the same. And then against Burnley will be in the 2 weeks after that. So end of October, early November, where we will protest again. This is the earliest possible time we sack the manager. Yeah. The owner just loves going on the cheap. I agree with this. We have quality on our side. Just comes down to adding the right players in Jan. I agree we have some quality. Other than Pakistan, Bo, where's the quality, bro? To be fair, Somerville's good. Fernandez is good. Diff's a good player. Wan-Bissaka's a good player. Walker Peters is a good player. Guilherme is a good young player. And we've got good academy players. But there's big problems still. Goalkeeper situation is still a problem if you're not going to play Hermanson, in my opinion, because Areola, he's all right. He's been all right. He was all right today, but I don't even blame him for the goal. At times he doesn't, like, if we're going at Hermanson for not commanding properly, Areola doesn't do that either. It's not the same. I think Kilman's a problem. I think Mavropanos is a problem. I think Ward-Prowse is a problem. He doesn't play though. I don't think Souček's a problem, but I think he can be. Striker situation problem. Lack of winger depth is a problem. So I think it's 50-50. I think we've got enough to survive. That's it. Everton have a better team and they're a few players short. Everton aren't that good though. And Everton aren't an example of what to be. Everton are the most overhyped team in the Premier League. Everton aren't that good. They heavily rely on Jack Grealish, play Iliman and down on the right. Exactly what I've been saying the whole time that Moyes will do. To be fair, Somerville looks quality, but still too early. Yeah, you sacked Potter because of no. Mike's Potter and Nuno and Moyes are similar managers in ways. Nuno and Moyes are similar. Potter's not similar to them. The only thing similar about all three of them is that they don't like to win games. They like to draw games. That's the only thing. But Potter will do it a different way. He will like, let's pass the ball sideways, guys. But Nuno and Moyes are like, let's put an extra defender when we are going to try and win a game, or an extra midfielder, or whatever. Conservative mentality. Okay, so what happens if Nuno does the same in terms of what's? I'm not a fan of the appointment anyway, so I'm going to criticize him. And I've been criticizing the owners anyway, Villa fan. So that's why I'm not really backing the appointment, because I feel like I'm a byproduct of the ownership. Potter is nothing like Nuno Moyes. He's a possession merchant. That's the problem I have with all three of them, is that they're either off the ball merchant or on the ball merchant. I like balance. Wan-Bissaka and Emerson. Okay. They also fell out. For him dropping the ball past Souček, I think Nuno's a great manager. To be fair, I think Souček's still suspended. Nuno will get exposed. No Jimenez and Wood up top. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. West Ham need a fresh up-and-coming coach with a promising future. I think for the time being, I get it. I get what you're saying. I get this. Like, but sacking Potter wasn't. It's not the guy either. He's not a fresh up-and-coming coach with a promising future. Like, I would like just a proper coach anyway, because I still think if you get the right coach, you can forget a relegation battle in September. But if they want to go down this route, let's do it right. My most disappointing moment of Antonio's tenure was him supposedly stopping Kudus from slapping Lopetegui. I agree with that person. Hermansen and Areola, same cheek with the same ass. Fair. I think Guilherme needs to be brought as a 10 if you're going to use him as an attacking sub. I think he's good on the wing, though. No disrespect to West Ham, you don't even own your ground to have a League 2 level training ground. Not exactly a great attraction and potential new buy, no disrespect, mate. I agree. I've been saying the same thing, though. But I think London Premier League is enough, because Palace aren't attractive either. But they can still get the best out of what they have. Our training ground's horrible, our stadium's horrible, but if they're looking for a new buyer, they can see the potential into reshaping it. We were missing Wan-Bissaka, Tanibo, and Souček. This is also true, but I don't think Souček is that guy to be saying as like key player to missing out, but I hear you. We made a 30 million bid for a centre-back towards the end of the window to replace again. Hopefully we can put that towards a B centre-forward. But I also wouldn't be surprised if they're like, we don't have any money anymore, even though we've always had money. This club peddled out that we've had money. I know we didn't have money. And then all of a sudden, bang, Fernandes, bang, Magassa. Combined like 50 odd million for two midfielders. We don't have money, guys. But because we talk about both our clubs, even though it's far away, we might as well talk a little bit about the game.
Yeah.
Coming up. Even though you've got Olympiacos, so it's very hard to judge right now. West Ham at home, you haven't won your last two, but they've been under two different managers. Moyes and Potter. Now you're coming up against Nuno. I don't know whether that's like it's going to make a difference, really. I don't know whether we can get a draw there or not. Nuno doesn't really win at the Emirates either. Potter has had it, but to be fair to Potter, he had a good record at the Emirates beforehand. Like, couple draws, couple wins, whatever.
Beat us in the Europa League with Ostersund.
Yeah. So, West Ham at home, with your recent form, record, all of that, what are you making of it?
It's either, for me, it's either going to be a case of we either scam a victory or we lose in a game where we're expected to win. I think as far as at the moment goes, obviously, like you said, obviously we've got Olympiacos before we play you guys. Whether, like, depending on how well we play, I think I might be able to judge the game coming up on Saturday a little bit more, depending on how well we play on Wednesday. But I think the only two outcomes of that game for me are either scam a win or lose when we should win.
Yeah. I think I see us losing like a 2-0 or some shit. The only reason why I say that is just because we're still prone to conceding early. I think we need to be heavily concentrated against Arsenal for set pieces. But I don't even think we're going to get the ball enough to hit you guys on the counter the way we should. And I think we're going to have the problem with the way we're going to set up is we don't have enough ball carriers, like out wide anyway. Unless we just spam the left hand side with Diouf.
It'll be interesting to see who actually plays for us on the left hand side, because more time we're probably going to end up coming up against Walker Peters. So it'll be interesting to see how Walker Peters does it against either Trossard, Martinelli, or God forbid Eze. I think if Arteta was smart, he'd start Eze in the 10, but because Odegaard's back, he's not going to start him. So, you know, it will definitely be interesting to see who we play on the left. I think Bowen can get at Calafiori
Definitely.
because this guy just tends to prance about like a stupid dickhead. But that's another thing I kept seeing from the game against Newcastle. Arsenal fans crying because the referee didn't let Calafiori use his towel. Lee Gunner pointed this out as well. The use of a towel has been banned for 2 seasons.
That was it.
Yeah, and these guys are complaining. Just use your shirt.
Yeah, yeah. And it's to stop people at Brentford that were constantly placing towels next to the sideline so they can take throws. It's to constantly stop that. Even though I don't think it's that deep. But I hear it because Arsenal fans are complaining. It's good to put a spot in hypocrisies. I think for me, the problem I have is that unless we're going down the left-hand side with like Diouf, Paquetá, Somerville, which I think Paquetá's going to force the pass too much. I like Paquetá, but I think he does this too much where sometimes like he always wants to create and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. It's sometimes elite through ball, sometimes it's just not in the right space that you want it. But I think Diouf and Somerville can cook it. Nuno needs to start with the same starting 11.
I'd say tonight.
Yeah, I would say maybe specifically for this game though, I would start Wilson instead of Fulkrook. Only because against the centre backs he's going up against, Fulkrook has no chance, in my opinion, against Saliba and Gabriel. Just because of he can pin a ball, but Arsenal centre backs are good getting their leg round and winning the ball. So, in my opinion, I think we need to just put Wilson in, and that'll be my change. Maybe Potts for Magassa, maybe, but I would just start Magassa and then put Potts on, like we did today, because I wouldn't throw Potts in the deep end like that at the Emirates. But I think for me, it's going to be very difficult for us to hold on. I think Wan-Bissaka is more suited to this game. I think Walker Peters is very good defensively, but Wan-Bissaka is more suited towards this game. I would like to see Todibo back. Probably not going to happen. Mavropanos and Kilman against Gyökeres, not a big fan. I think that's a complete mismatch. I think if Arsenal was smart, they would start Eze and Odegaard together, or Eze and Wanyeri, or whatever. Just 2 10s on one shit and then play Declan Rice. If you were smart, you play an extra attacker against us because we're not going to get the fucking ball. And the way I see it, it's not going to be like the game against Arsenal last season where Wan-Bissaka's carrying the ball and then Bowen runs into the space. We're not going to get that. We're not going to get that same space that we did against Arsenal last season when we get the goal. So it's going to be very, very difficult for us to win this game. We're not a set piece team. Arsenal don't concede set pieces like that. I know the Newcastle game cool. You don't concede set pieces like that. And it's only because Gabriel tries to get a foul. It's very stupid. He's not going to do that again. Unless we go down the right hand, switch it to the right hand side quick to score a goal. Can't see us scoring a goal. If they can't redevelop on that ground, the new potential owners, you won't get a good owner because that ground means your hands are tied for a new owner. My main gripe, Daniel, is more so if the next sale is in the hand of the new owner, and they'll probably accept it from any old dickhead, and we'll probably have another shit owner after that. I can't wait until Wan-Bissaka's back and either right hand side looking like their left hand side. Just willingness to overlap was outstanding. It was. My only thing is Walker Peters was going forward, but the way the right hand side was moving is that Bowen was too wide, and Walker Peters was underlapping too much or being in a 3 too much, which is a manager instruction. I'd rather have that happen the other side because Diouf is more suited to that. But then again, we want Diouf's crossing. Calafiori tries to check Pope's style. Yep. Chelsea AFC, big up. Yeah, guys. Local is Charlton as well, by the way, Alfie.
Big up guy. Charlton won at the weekend as well, so nice one.
Yeah, he's a Greenwich guy.
Big up. South London.
How often did Ada get forward for Forest Max? It was that very cautious. So he wouldn't get forward all the time because Hudson and Doylanga mainly want to get them into 1v1 situation. Nico Williams would go forward more than Ola Ada would. But Ola Aina didn't really go forward that much. It was more like, it wasn't like sit in the back three, but it was like he would go like a little bit forward, whereas Nico Williams would go like that, down the right hand side. So I think that's what Wan-Bissaka is going to be used like. One thing you know about Arsenal, they're going to play 4-2-3-1, to be fair. They're the informed team in the league right now. Yeah, they are. And even if you're not, well, Palace are the informed team. But, fam, we're fucked anyway. I can't lie. It will more of a 5-2-6-0 game than a 1-0 West Ham game. I don't think it'll be 6-0, but
No way.
I think it'll be 3. I wouldn't be surprised. If it was like 3, I wouldn't be surprised. I don't even see us scoring. I don't think it'll be 6. But then again, John, Mavropanos, Kilman, I wouldn't be surprised. I know fuck Wrexham. Yeah, Charlton beat Wrexham today. Yeah, shit. Corner commentary. My midfielder. Special one, wrong Palace. Palace are in form. Yeah, Palace. They lost the game since April. That's crazy.
They've even changed their Twitter bio.
Yeah, it's an
It
18
says
game.
18 unbeaten.
Yeah, 18 unbeaten. Yeah. Mental. Fair play to them. They're really solid right now. Really, really
Your
solid.
defense is in trouble, as they say.
Well, Nketiah's in the room.
Yeah.
This guy gets like 1 goal like every World Cup, bro. Like
And people lose their mind.
Yeah, every 4 years, and it's always against a Big 6 team. This guy only scores against Big 60. I swear to God, this guy scores every 2 years. The only thing that stopped Everton scoring 3 past you was Everton being a bum. They didn't create that many chances, like deadly chances. Like half their shots were straight at Areola. The ball didn't even get to Beto really like that in the first place. I'll be real.
But the thing about that is that even Moyes said he wanted to get rid of Beto. Like Moyes didn't rate Beto, but then Beto, it kind of looked like he had a decent start to the season, and now that's just completely disappeared, and he's back to his useless self again.
To be fair, he didn't want to get rid of him. He just said they weren't good enough.
Well, that's even worse.
Yeah. He said we wanted more from Beto. Then but that's Moyes. But he's still playing better over Barry, a guy he signed. Typical Moyes. Big up Elijah every single time.
Big up.
Should Dean Henderson be England's first choice goalkeeper? No.
Yes.
The reason why I say no is because Pickford hasn't done anything wrong. Pickford doesn't do much wrong, and people go at him, and he doesn't make that much mistakes. Whereas Dean Henderson, but he doesn't do bad for England. He doesn't do bad for Everton either. He doesn't perform bad. Like, and Dean Henderson, he's mainly bailed out because of his defense. He can't collect the ball like Pickford. If we're talking penalties, he should do the Tim Krul. Bring Henderson on for penalty shootouts if England are in there.
Shout out Tim Krul, recently retired as well.
Oh shit, I thought he retired time ago. Fair enough. Fair play to him. But I think if England are in a situation where we're going extra time, penalties, bring Henderson on. But for now, Pickford has never, like, no matter, like, I've always liked Nick Pope, for example. I think Nick Pope's a fantastic keeper. He's actually not fantastic. Fantastic for Newcastle level, like below the Big 6. And he's always performed great, but he's never needed to displace Pickford. Ramsdale had 1 good season, but he would never anywhere near displacing Pickford. Who else has been like? Yeah, I guess then Dean Henderson. Dean Henderson, even Sam Johnston in lockdown.
Yeah,
Sam Johnston was brilliant in lockdown, but he never needed to displace Pickford. Dean Henderson has been on some class form though, but I still look at Dean Henderson like you're capable of making a mistake. You're capable of parrying a ball. I think he's good for penalties. I think that's his thing, but that's mainly it. That's mainly it for me. But people, gonna end it there. I've been streaming for hours. I've been streaming, well, not hours, 3.5. It's not that much. But we're gonna redirect to Sheik. Redirect to Sheik. So go and say Mike's raided Sheik's chat. And he's doing Mud Brothers on his channel. We'll be back tomorrow. Take care and peace, people.